everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to the first installment of a new series I'm going to be doing on my channel, and I'm calling it, Does This Still Stand Up? Simply because I want to test the question of reading age-old favorites of mine from when I was a teenager. You know, those typical books that people tend to read, the really popular ones, and I want to ask, do they still stand up today? And I got this video idea from a few of my friends from school. We were having a little bit of a chat over on Twitter about a certain book, and I had an opinion about it that the others didn't really agree with. I was like, well, I haven't read it in a long time, so I don't know if my opinion still stands. So they were like, why don't you do a video? My friend Sophia actually said, why don't you do a video about this and see if these old books stand up? So I actually wanted to turn this into a series and do just one book every time. And so, if you couldn't guess by the title and the thumbnail of this video, the very first book I am going to be reading and seeing if it answers the question, does it still stand up, is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I decided to do this one first simply because this was the book that caused the conversation, and because this is the book that everybody seems to be rereading right now. So why not? Why not I have the chance to also reread it too and see if it stands up, in my opinion. So here's the situation about me and The Hunger Games. When I was in grade 8, we used to have these lovely things at our school called Scholastic Book Fairs, and I believe it was grade 8. It might have been grade 7 as well, I'm not sure, but at my school we had Scholastic Book Fairs, and this was one of the books in that book fair. And I remember picking it up and being really intrigued by it simply because of the premise, because you know, kids pitted against each other in a game to the death. Like, who wouldn't be interested in that? And so I remember picking it up, but I never actually read it back then. It was one of those things that I just included it and collected it into my collection. And I never picked it up until high school. And I only really picked it up because one of my friends in high school was obsessed with it, and so she was like, you have to read it, you have to continue with the series, it's just so good. So I picked it up, read it, loved it. Picked up Catching Fire, loved it even more. And then I got to Mockingjay and I got halfway through, was really mad about it, and then I just DNF'd it and asked my friend to tell me how it ended. And I remember being really happy with the fact that I didn't end up finishing that book, because the ending made me really mad. And to this day, I haven't finished Mockingjay, and I don't know if I ever will. Then I also picked it up later in high school. I wanted to reread it, and I remember rereading it and not being able to get through it again because I was so angry about the writing. And as a grade 11, grade 12 person, I was editing the sentences as I went, and I have been very wary about picking this up again since, because if you guys didn't know, now that I have graduated university, I am an editor by trade. I am a magazine editor basically, and I edit articles and all that kind of stuff, so I'm really worried about that coming back in. But this is also what sparked the conversation on Twitter, because I commented on one of my friends' posts saying like, oh, I remember trying to reread this and really hating the writing because I was editing it as I went. Another friend came in and said, well, isn't that the point of The Hunger Games, is because it's more accessible for more people and the writing is easy to get lost in? And I was just sitting there and I was like, I mean, sure. So, and recently all over book Twitter and Instagram and YouTube, I've been seeing people rereading this book and really loving their reread. So I've been talking about this for long enough. I'm going to reread this today. If it takes me longer than a day, that's fine. I will read it continuously into Sunday and then Monday if I need it. But I'm planning on starting and finishing it today because it's not that long and I think I can do it pretty fast. And I'm going to answer my own question, basically. does this still stand up? So without further ado, we should probably get into the vlog portion of this video, shouldn't we? And if you don't want to watch the vlog portion of this video, I will put a timestamp here on the screen somewhere that you can skip to my final thoughts about this book once I'm all done. And you can cut out the vlog footage and see my thoughts on this. Let's go read The Hunger Games.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky.
Okay, so I'm on page 13. And I have some thoughts. Not really about the book so far, other than the fact that, yeah, the writing is bothering me a little. Does that make me a snob? Probably. I don't know how, like, I can see past it now, but it's just, maybe it's just Katniss's voice. It's just a little bit listy, and like, I do this, and then this, and then this, and then this happens, and then this happens, and da-da-da, you know? Like, it's just a little bit blunt, so maybe it is her voice, I don't know. But my thoughts were more along the lines of Gale and Peeta. When I first read this, I was Team Gale all the way. I thought he was so much better than Peeta. Peeta was a weakling, and I did not like him. Like, I liked him as, like, a person, like, he was sweet and whatever, but I was just like, no, like, you can tell Katniss doesn't love him and whatever, she's just picking him because she has to, she loves Gale. And, I'm interested to see if that's still my opinion at the end of this, but, it's so funny how I thought that as a kid, because in here, she distinctly says that, like, he's like her brother, and there's never been anything romantic between them, and there never will be. And I'm just like, oh, maybe that's why I figured that by the end they would be together, because usually that's how it is, right? In YA books, the female lead is like, oh, there's nothing ever romantic between us, but then, like, by the end of it there is, you know? So maybe that's why I thought it, but I don't know, Gale's an interesting one. And I liked him as a kid a lot, and that might have been influenced by the fact that Liam Hemsworth plays him in the movie, but I liked him a lot as a kid, so we will see how I feel at the end of this. I'm gonna go in pretty open-minded, because Peeta, I don't know, I want to be moved by those scenes in the middle of this book with Peeta, so fingers crossed that I, have a little bit of a change of heart. I don't know. I'm really interested if you guys were Team Peeta or Team Gale growing up, or neither team, because that's an option too. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I'd bring that up. I'm gonna go back to reading now. Hey friends, so it's a bit later now, and I wanted to come downstairs simply because my parents are having a bingo evening. The Hunger Games. I'm now on page 120, and I have thoughts. So I'm gonna put you here on my Harry Potter shelf and we'll chat. So by the time I got to page like 56, I had made the comment in my own head that I kind of have let go a little bit of the writing style. Just, I think it's more Katniss's voice that's just kind of abrasive at the beginning. And yeah, the writing isn't like amazing, but it is YA, and it is 2000s YA, so like you can expect genius writing, right? So it's fine, it's good, it's whatever. Now that I'm past that, I can actually kind of more enjoy the story a little bit more, so that's nice, thank God. But on page 57, I put a little tag here, and I wrote, "That is mahogany," because that is one of my favorite lines from the movies that should have been in the book, when Katniss just like stabs the table with her knife. And I'm actually really surprised that I forgot that Peeta is the one who attacks Hamish first. Yes, he only really knocks his drink out of his hand, but he's the one who acts first, which is not the same like soft, gentle boy that I remember, which is kind of interesting that he has more layers than I remember, because he's an ogre and ogres have layers. like an onion. And yeah, what else? Oh, I love when Effie and Hamish and Katniss and Peeta are together for the first time, like in the first 4 chapters, because it's just like I'm sitting there, I'm like just seeing the dream team come together. It's fantastic. Really enjoyed that. And I'm like just only gently ashamed about the fact that I teared up during the justice building scenes where she's saying goodbye to her family. Just like the emotion coming from my own self, not really what was written, got me. I was like, ooh, why am I tearing up at this? Oh my god. Just, yeah, anyways. And then when we got to the part with Cinna, the designer, forgot how much I love Cinna. Am I gonna end up falling back in love with this story by the end of this? We don't know. I honestly wouldn't be sad if I did, because this is just bringing back memories. And I showed my mom, I was like, look what I'm rereading. And she looked at me, she goes, oh, I loved those books. I read them in like 3 days. I was like, I don't even remember you reading these. So, and my mom's not a big reader, so that's surprising to me. Anyways, I'm going to go back upstairs. So I will update you probably when I get to the halfway mark. Yeah, because I'm here so far, so we got a long way to go, folks. Hey friends, it is now a lot later, and I've read up to part 3 of the Hunger Games already. I am baffled at how fast I'm going through this. I did say I wanted to have it done in 1 day, but I figured that with me making dinner and then hanging out afterwards, I didn't think I was gonna read anything. Apparently I can. When I'm not paying attention to what's going around me. And oh my god. So, okay, so the last time I updated you, we were still before we went into the arena. And now I'm at the part where Rue just died. And I'm very sad. Very sad. I love that scene where Katniss basically sings to Rue as she dies and then decorates her hair with flowers. It makes me so emotional. It's so lovely. Oh, and I forgot that Katniss loses her ear, it's really late. Hearing? Is that the word for it? Loses her hearing? That sounds weird, but okay. I think I'm just really tired. In her left ear. I forgot about that. I find the relationship between Katniss and Peeta so interesting as she goes into the games, because of course there's the big like reveal in the interview with Caesar Flickerman that Peeta's in love with her, and then she doesn't believe him and she says, why did you make me feel weak, and blah blah blah. And I find it so funny that that's what she thinks first, not that it makes him look vulnerable, which is really interesting. And I find there's this part on page 135 where Hamish just says, like, is explaining it to her, like, you are the fool, Katniss, like, can't you see the good in this? And he says, who cares that this isn't like, that you're not actually star-crossed lovers? It's all a big show. It's how you're perceived. The most I would say after your interview was that you were nice enough. But like, the idea of how you're perceived and how you must put on a show is just so fascinating, and how it's really explored in this book. I don't know. I'm really liking this reread. And oh yeah, I don't remember why I forgot that Peeta teamed up with the Careers originally. I totally forgot that he did. And when I read it again, I felt kind of just like empty. I don't remember why he did, because that's such a weird pair to me. Like, why wouldn't the Careers just kill him flat out, you know? I don't remember if it's ever explained as to why, which I haven't yet got to the part where she finds him and helps him and all that. So I'll keep reading and I'll update you on that. But anyways, I'm gonna keep reading. I don't know if I'll finish today, but hopefully I will finish tomorrow at least. I have only this much left. let's be honest, I'll probably finish it tonight because I'm that kind of a person. But yeah, verdict so far. Loving this reread. More than I thought I would. This book so far still stands. There's nothing problematic about it. It's gripping, it's paced really well, it's plotted really well, the scenes all have like a good arc to them, there's a reason for each of them, it moves you through the story, there's no boring moments. If there is a slightly boring moment, you know something's gonna happen at the end to like make a twist, like with Katniss just becoming dehydrated at the beginning. It feels like just like continuously her going downhill, physically and literally. She's walking downhill trying to find water too, but like her dehydration is pulling her down. And then at the end of it all, when she does find the water, yay, but then also a fire rips her from her place, and it's just like thing after thing after thing happens. And I will say it, this is holding up so far. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to it. Alright, my dudes, thought I'd check in real fast before I go to sleep. I am so near the end. It's crazy. But I don't want to finish the last little chunk until tomorrow when I'm more in my brain. It's also 1 in the morning and I have stuff to do tomorrow, so it just happens that this book swallows you whole and spits you out. No, it's 1 in the morning. So, okay, I just wanted to come in and kind of talk about the Peeta and Katniss relationship a little bit. It might be a little incoherent because my brain has stopped working, but... So, I will say that their, like, cave scene, her taking care of him stuff, was really cute. And it was tender, and it was just lovely to see a little bit of real emotion come out of Katniss, but I'm also on the same, like, at the same time, I'm still, like, confused, really, because, like, how much of this is actually even real? Because we know it's all for show, because she is throwing herself at this so much more than she would be if it was real life, saying stuff that she wouldn't be if it was real life, but this is a game, right? Yeah, death is real life, but the fact that it's been made into a game is also brought into question, and it's just like the idea that this could all, like, this is mostly for show. How much of it is real? We don't really even know because we don't get Peeta's point of view in this one specifically. I'm trying to remember what Catching Fire is like, and I think I remember it being more detached and then even more for show, their relationship, and it was like completely fake. But also, like, is there real emotion behind this? Yes, I think, because like later on it shows there is, but like just taking this single narrative, this single book into account, we don't know, right? Because all Katniss is thinking, she can hear Haymitch in her ear telling her what to do to amp up the romance, just to get stuff, to just survive, basically. Oh, this book is so complex. Oh my god. So I want to dropkick 12-year-old grade 12 Jenna in the face because she was wrong about trashing this book. I loved this book when I first picked it up in high school, and I still love it now. I'm gonna say it. I love this book. I'm gonna answer the question now. It stands up, you guys. It stands up. Anyways, I'm gonna go to bed. Even though I really badly want to read the last, like, I don't even know how many pages I have. It's not many. Like, there's, like, probably 40 or 50 pages left, but I'm leaving that for tomorrow. So, I will see you tomorrow. Alright, my dudes. We are back in front of my bookcases because I finished The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And I loved this. I loved being back in this world. Like, my love of this story that kindled when I first read it has been rekindled, and I low-key want to reread Catching Fire now. This is just, I don't know how to explain it. It's so traditional 2000s YA, so it's not like it's a fantastically, brilliantly written book, but it's still so good. And it's just, wow, you know? It's one of those books. It just leaves me kind of just going, wow. Katniss has such a clear voice through this. Her confusion and the muddled bits of like what's real and what's not real and what's really just a performance for the world and what she really feels is all confused, and it makes so much sense because she's a teenager, right? So it makes sense in that. And also she's been pitted into these games to kill other people, and she has killed other people, and it's just all in, it's incredible, you know? There's something to be said about this OG YA that really started the dystopian trend in teen fiction, really. And it's just, I really enjoyed being back in this world. I remember obviously a lot of the plot points in this simply because I was obsessed with this story when I was younger. But I will say, I am more Team Peeta than I was before. As I addressed earlier in this video, I used to be Team Gale as a kid. Peeta is just so sweet and incredible. And, you know, it's just lovely, you know? And at the end of it all, he truly does love her, and it wasn't for show. It was truly real for him. And then the whole issue of like what was real for Katniss comes up, and I'm just like, oh, this is so like just painful, and the angst is there, and it's so good. I will say though, I don't think I like Katniss as much as I used to. Yes, she has a super strong voice, and yes, she's super badass, and she takes care of herself, and she's got the survival instincts and all that, but she's just not someone I would get along with, I don't think. She's kind of a little bit too rough around the edges for me, but that makes a great YA character, and that makes her like also a stereotypical YA character, especially for girls, because you have the badass, able to survive, able to, you know, do all the things that she does. But yes, I'm really glad I read this, and I guess we've come to the point of this entire video that really we need to answer, does this still stand up? And I gotta be honest, one, my arm is falling asleep, so we're gonna put it over here so I can talk to you without my arm dying. But yes, so does this still stand up? I wanted to kind of go through a few things that I did bring up at the beginning of this video before I actually started reading this. One, the main thing was the writing. Yes, it's YA, it's 2000s YA, and it's not brilliant. It's not great in any capacity, but what my friends did say when we brought up this conversation on Twitter is that it is accessible to everyone, and that is so true. You lose yourself in this story. It is a fast read, and it sucks you in, and there's nothing grating about the writing style. I don't know why some writing styles hurt my eyes, but they do, and it like bothers me physically. It feels like something's grating on my eyes. I will say that there were moments that the writing wasn't fantastic, but I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that it was written in 2008, or written before 2008, published in 2008. This is a brilliantly crafted story. You have all of the needed plot points, you have the stakes, you have the characters that are just so real, and you feel that they're real within like an instant. The complexities between Peeta and Katniss that are drawn in, that it's not just a survival story, but the fact that they're on TV and this is a game and they're entertainment, and Katniss knows that she has to amp up the romance to get stuff to survive. That's so complex, because if you took away that aspect and you put them completely in privacy, a lot of the stuff wouldn't probably happen. I don't know what would have happened either, in truth, because Katniss wouldn't have that extra layer there of like making her think through her actions. Would she have actually fallen for Peeta a lot faster if they weren't there to like affect what she does? You know, it's such an interesting question about being watched, about the aspects of entertainment today. And I think it's even more suiting because I heard someone say, I can't remember who, it was just in passing, someone was talking about the Hunger Games and how that this all came about before the like rise of social media, and now in an era of social media, what kind of commentary that brings in, you know? I'm answering the question right now. Does this stand up? Yes. It stands up not only in its entertainment factor and the fact that it's just beloved by so many people, but that it's actually an excellent story, and it's an excellently written story. Yes, the writing style isn't my favorite and it's quite easy, but I think that lends to its universal love, you know? I'm gonna end this here, but I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Let me know down below your thoughts about the Hunger Games. Did you read it back when it was really, really popular with dystopian? This was actually my first dystopian novel, and it kicked my love for it into motion. It was my real delve as a young adult, really, when I was in high school, into books like this that had the angst of teenage romance and that kind of stuff. But now that I've reread this, I might just possibly reread the next one and might possibly try Mockingjay. If I do, you guys will know. If I do, maybe I'll even bring you on for the journey, but that is not the point of these videos. After the Hunger Games, I don't know which one of the books that I read as a teenager will be next in this series of Does It Still Stand Up, but I'm so excited to keep exploring this world of revisiting literature and books that I loved as a kid. I hope you guys will join me on this journey with me. If you keep me here any longer, I will ramble about this book forever. I think we all need to revisit some of our old favorites. I hope that this video inspires you to do the same. So I will stop talking now, I swear. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and do all that stuff that YouTube tells you to do. And I will see you in another video soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.